Carolina's Attorney General Alan Wilson says organized crime is occurring more than you think.
And that includes inside our state prisons, where he says it's happening with the help of these illegal cell phones. 7 News' Caroline Jaffa has details.
It's not a usual occurrence that South Carolina's 35th and 34th state grand jury issue a report. But this week they did, saying violent criminals are committing crimes from behind bars. And in one case, it led to life sentences, all coordinated from prison.
It ultimately occurred to us that we could no longer in good conscience send dangerous criminals to prison and tell the community that we had protected them when they were able to continue to run their criminal organizations as much as they ever did on the inside of prisons as they were on the outside.
DJ and Matt McCoy are 2 brothers who were already behind bars. Prosecutors say while serving time in South Carolina state prisons, the McCoys used contraband cell phones to run a meth trafficking operation.
They're poisoning our communities just the same as they did when they were out on the street. The only difference is they actually have a layer of protection, not necessarily from law enforcement, but from all of the other threats that come with living that type of lifestyle.
Investigators say more than 600 kilos of meth moved across the upstate, all orchestrated from inside prison walls. Prosecutors say the brothers even got tattoos that read family tradition, which they say is a celebration of their criminal past.
If anything needs to be underscored here, is that prison walls alone are not a barrier when inmates have access to cell phones. The McCoys weren't just participating, they were leading a massive narcotic network from behind bars.
They illustrate public corruption. They illustrate drug traffickers continuing to run drugs. They illustrate the amount of money that can be made by these inmates using contraband cell phones.
Now AG Wilson is calling on Congress and the FCC to let states block illegal cell service in prisons, something federal prisons can already do.
In Columbia, Caroline Jaffa, 7 News.
To find more details on the case and the 2 others that AG Wilson mentioned in the news conference, you can check out our story. It's on WSPA.com. 7 News has an update out of Union County, where a man is behind bars charged with a shooting on the 4th of July. The sheriff's office says a man seen bleeding from his shoulder stopped them near Bryan Run and Harlem Roads. He told deputies he gave a man a ride home from a party and that the man shot him. The sheriff's office says Reginald Woodson was arrested on Monday. He is charged with attempted murder and armed robbery.
Breaking news, a man is under arrest after police say he led them on a chase through Duncan. The Duncan police chief says officers tried to pull over a reckless driver around 7:20 last night on East Main Street. We're told they chased him until the car crashed on Holly Springs Road. Police say Andy Gardea then tried to eat drug contraband. Gardea faces numerous charges, including a felon in possession of a firearm. We're told there's warrants for his arrest in Greer, and more charges are expected from the Highway Patrol. All right, thanks, Nicole. Breaking news, a 15-year-old faces charges for a shooting north of Greenville. It happened Tuesday night at Crestwood Forest Apartments. That's not far from the Cherrydale area. The Greenville County Sheriff's Office says the suspect was holding a gun inside an apartment when the weapon fired, hitting another teen. Deputies tell us the victim is expected to make a full recovery. The unidentified 15-year-old faces charges, including possession of a stolen weapon. They were taken to the Department of Juvenile Justice in Columbia.
Greenville police say a man who sexually assaulted a woman at gunpoint, stole money from her, is now in custody. They say it happened at the Sunset Inn on Wade Hampton Boulevard last month. They identified a suspect, 23-year-old Jeremy Harley, charged with first-degree criminal sexual conduct, armed robbery, kidnapping, and a weapons charge.
At noon, a man will spend 15 years in prison for trying to kidnap a young girl away from her mother in Greenville County. 69-year-old Robert Mistretta pled guilty yesterday to attempted kidnapping. The 13th Circuit solicitor says Mistretta tried to grab the child while she was on the way to West Cliff Elementary School in 2021. The child's mother was able to keep hold of her. Deputies say Mistretta was found later with the student's school ID that he ripped away during the struggle.
Thanks. The mother of a little boy who was attacked by a pack of dogs is suing Lawrence County and the city of Clinton. They happened early last year. An 11-year-old Orion Anderson was walking to his bus stop. He was attacked by 4 dogs in Clinton. He had to be flown to an area hospital for emergency treatment. The lawsuit claims the city and county ignored complaints about the dogs before the attack. Lawsuit also wants the city and county to adopt and pay for a plan to improve animal control programs. 7 News reached out, of course, to Lawrence County and the city of Clinton for comment. Still waiting to hear back. Anderson's family plans to hold a news conference tomorrow to update his recovery and the lawsuit.
Oconee County deputies are asking for information about a shooting that happened last weekend. Authorities say it happened Thursday on Pickens Bend Range Drive near Twin Lakes Campground. Investigators say when they arrived, they found a 19-year-old who had been shot in the back. Deputies later learned an argument happened before shots were fired. Investigators are asking if you were at the beach on Thursday evening. Call Crime Stoppers at 1-844-71-CRIME.
Pickens County needs volunteer power. 7 News reporter Ariana Meadows tells you about this new program that helps local leaders quickly coordinate people when they need help fast.
Pickens County now has a program helping first responders and volunteers be proactive instead of reactive when disaster strikes. Disasters like Hurricane Helene and Table Rock wildfires took a toll on Pickens County. Leaders want to know what organizations in the area are willing to volunteer in a disaster, whether it be providing shelter, meals, supplies, or cleanup. It's called the Volunteer Organization Active in Disaster Program.
It helps us to be more efficient rather than one person trying to take on one effort or one particular job. You may have folks that have a similar skill set. You may have 1 or 2 folks that say, hey, I do tree work, or I can run a chainsaw.
By already knowing ahead of time what organizations are here to help and how, it takes the stress off of Pickens County Emergency Services.
Sometimes the volunteer effort can actually become an incident within your incident because you're trying to coordinate that. You have your main issue, your fire, your hurricane going on, and it can actually pull away from some of your resources to help to coordinate this. This takes and makes that a part of the response, a part of the incident, but somebody else is helping to manage that.
Emergency Services says the biggest issue during Hurricane Helene was the debris, downed power lines, and homes destroyed. They say they knew help was needed. It was just a matter of how to get it.
For example, the county, we cannot go onto private property and do work. We can clear the right-of-way, we can clear the road, but there were folks out there that said, I've got a tree down on my house, I don't know who to call. But now doing this, taking that proactive approach to that, I think will help us get the assistance out to our public in a much more efficient manner.
If your organization is active in disaster response or recovery and you would like to be a part of this program, go to our website at WSPA.com. In Pickens County, Ariana Meadows, 7 News.
Now, right now, Pickens County is only collecting information from organizations and groups. People looking to get involved are told to stay tuned if you're an individual who wants to, because they have more information coming soon.